The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
Bestiary of Folk Creatures of Arok.
The skeleton. All skeletons are magically animated, undead monsters. Skeletons appear to have no ligaments or musculature which would allow movement. Instead, the bones are magically joined together. Skeletons have no eyes or internal organs. Skeletons can be made from the bones of humans, demi-humans, animals of human size or smaller, or giant humanoids like bugbears and giants. It is important to note that, once again, we have a term of dual purpose. Skeletons, capital S, refers to animated, magically enchanted, necromantically summoned, or otherwise offensive, monstrous skeletons. Skeletons, small s, refers to the bones or remains of a creature with a skeleton. I used the word skeleton in its own definition. Man-sized humanoid skeletons always fight with weapons, usually a rusty sword or spear. Because of their magical nature, they do not fight as well as living beings. Skeletons are immune towards sleep, charm, and hold spells. Because they are assembled from bones, cold-based attacks also do skeletons no harm. The fact that they are mostly empty means that edged or piercing weapons like swords, daggers, spears, other kinds of swords, just do less when used on skeletons. Blunt weapons, with larger heads designed to break and crush bones, cause normal damage against skeletons. It's almost unfair, isn't it? Fire also does normal damage against skeletons. Holy water works well. Skeletons are immune to fear spells. When a skeleton dies, it falls into pieces with loud clunks and rattles guaranteed to summon more of them that are within hearing shot. Skeletons have no social life or interesting habits. Because why would they? They can be found anywhere there is a wizard or priest powerful enough to make them, particularly if there's a graveyard nearby. Note that some neutral priests of deities of the dead or dying often raise whole armies of animated followers in times of trouble. Skeletons have no minds whatsoever, so they naturally vote Democrat, and can obey only the simplest 1-2 phrase orders from their creators. Skeletons fight in unorganized masses and tend to botch complex orders disastrously. Unless the skeleton's remains are destroyed or scattered far apart, the skeleton can be created anew with the application of another Animate Dead spell. Rumors of high-level Animate Dead spells which can create skeletons capable of reforming themselves to continue fighting after being destroyed have not been reliably confirmed, so guess what's coming fairly soon?
That was an excerpt from the Bestiary of Folk Creatures of Arok. Now, let me tell you a tale from an age of heroes.
They have caused a major stir. A legion has set forth to hunt down a spectre conjured by one of their number. A trail of deep footprints can only mean one thing, but two, and now they must work hard to offset the damage that will be done here. With the hornet's nest kicked over, there is opportunity to be found in the chaos. Will they have the wisdom to do what needs to be done?
The first thing that happens is you are all standing around, and a retinue of soldiers march on up.
Oh.
And General Tashad is there, and she says, "What are you doing standing around? You caused this. You're going along to point out your proof." And Sulan says, "I'm sorry, I didn't... I can't. That is... sorry, you're... I'm not familiar with your ways and the culture. Of course, will go and yes." And General Tashad gives a curt nod, and Sulan is hustled off to join the departing legion, leaving you three alone. Em leans on her great battle axe and was like, "Well, looks like it's just down to the two of us to investigate the Vol Armory break-in thing. What was that going on? I wasn't paying attention."
Probably because you ran away when we tried to heal you. But you must have come back.
"Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane."
Well,
or would you prefer "Here I am again on my own"?
Well, the first one.
Thank you.
Yes, well, I forgot to give you inspirations earlier. Yeah, so what was all that about?
Vol request help, just like Tashad did.
That's the thing again, it seems to keep...
Weird.
Oh boy.
Oh, you just did a thing?
Now
it's
done
not,
to separate
It's
it.
not taking a charge, and in fact, the cable is not seating correctly, and it keeps falling out, even though it's got a magnet. So... I mean, if it comes right down to it, it will only take me a few minutes to copy it onto the other working tablet and run it off there, but it's just a bit of an annoyance. Anyway, carrying on. So yeah, explain the whole thing to me.
Vol Armory was broken into last night, and they specifically want our help in looking into it. I suppose after we helped Requistix successfully, they want to enlist our help as well.
That sounds...
Perhaps it's because I made contact with that lovely woman from Vol Armory. Who made your armor? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that must have taken so long to do.
It's a fine art.
What?
I enjoyed that. I'm sure Sulan will be fine. She might be able to get ahead of them and find out what's going on with that creature ripping people apart.
That must be it.
But we should remain vigilant while
Like
even while we're looking in Vol Armory. If that means...
No, just a city.
I'm sorry?
We have to be citiant, not vigilant.
Vigilant.
Citine. Great big city.
Fine, we must be citiant. Because many of the army have left the city, and it could be cause for enemies.
What was
of the
that
Jor to
slapping
do harm.
sound?
Huh?
No, it was something. You tell me what it was.
I'll look around from made this noise. And I prepare to...
No, you're dumb.
Oh.
Still sitting.
Did you internally slap yourself?
No.
But Silverhand did, I think.
Yes, that's what it.
You stay out of this.
Let us go to Vol.
Great big armored Saphiro stomps off through the crowds that part before him.
Well, egg armored Saphiro, because I did check.
Ostentatiously, wealthily armored Saphiro stomps off through the crowds. Drow look upon his Ankh armor with envy, jealousy, and covetousness like this. And then the thieves in the city, unbeknownst to any of you, look on with this kind of look. And the women of the city look on like this. So anyway, I was going down to the shoe shop here.
It's already working.
I bought new handbags! There's always one. Eventually you arrive in the marketplace where the woman that you boinked is, and does. And she says, well, look who's come crawling back.
I believe my presence was requested, my lady. I give a bow.
Oh, you do wish to take the contract. That is so excellent. And you have bought your orcs?
Yes.
I'm not his orc. I'm just indebted to him in a slave-like contract. Oh. So you are his orc, then?
And you more his orc than I am.
Nah, you riding his nuts so hard.
Huh?
What?
Into butt. No. No. Oh, certainly. Present yourself to the Vol Mansion and announce yourselves. I'm sure they are waiting for you.
Very well. I'm assuming under these circumstances I do not need to go and see... Well, the general is not even in the city
This is
anymore.
a private bounty.
Very well. I will... we will go there forthwith.
I should go immediately if I were you.
Yeah.
Internally, Saphiro's like, oh good, one of those days.
It's like, oh, it's not just him pulling this shit on me, it's the local.
Language barrier.
Yeah. I'll give a courteous bow and then
Used to
turn
love
him
this stuff.
and leave.
Now I don't so much. Turns out it can give you cancer.
I'll,
Don't drink it.
Spraying it on you.
don't drink. As well, I'll stop. I'll turn back around to the lady. Where is Vol Mansion?
What is over there? Big bridges, huge spider statue thing, you know. Oh, let me get you on the map up. Alright.
Well, whenever there's too dark to read from here, I can see like
can see
a bunch
the
of crystals from here.
I really should just take it down. What a waste of money.
With another giant. A bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. So we head across the strait and we turn right.
Past House to Shud.
And sort of zigzag past another spider and then straight ahead.
Past, and go right under the spider.
And did they just appear like regular statues of spiders? As we pass underneath
As
them?
far as you know, yes.
I don't want to look up. Spiders look like a mixture of gross and creepy on the other side.
Stump is absolutely looking up, and I make I will throw my dice into the distance like I throw harpax. I will at least attempt to perceive any motion as I look up at the spider thing. Here's a pass.
You didn't see any motion.
Okay. And I will marvel. Never having been that close to the underside of a giant thing that looks like a spider. Without fearing for my life and having to run away.
I still don't trust that thing.
You think maybe if City get attacked it'd come alive?
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's just petrified or something.
If it was, we have... I internally consider using a potion of soft, but I decide not to. And I stop mid-sentence.
Proceed to Hell's Hall.
You walk through the very fancy district with its wide open, spacious spaces populated with very few people. The glowing green crystals cast a lurid light, even to where you are walking. And soon you hear the low murmurs of, astonishingly, a market. There's a fancy market here.
Is that what that? Oh, I see.
Sort of in the center.
And this, around this sort of like very artfully and interestingly designed colonnade area, there's a collection of various merchants in fine robes, and they are talking and bargaining and haggling.
Ooh.
Oh, they're probably talking in Drow, so never mind. Well, so they're obviously speaking in common, or?
They are.
Oh, okay. I will just at least
Trade
make
language.
a listen check as we're passing through, just to see if I ever hear any whispers of interest. But that's a 7, not a 1. It is a 7. That's a par.
Just bringing in a variety of new creatures for your arenas. No, you would not happen to want to tell me what kind of creatures they are? I don't suppose you would use that information for the purposes of knowing how to hedge your bets. But of course I would not do such a thing. I don't even gamble on the arenas. Well, you didn't hear it from me, but... And then Saphira passes out of range.
No! I want to pause a little, slow down a little to hear what they say.
And of course, that's going to be a big surprise. Well, I certainly would keep it under my hat.
Now there's only one way to find out.
Not sleeping with the merchant just to find...
You'll do as you're told.
No, we release all of the tournament creatures and then see what comes out. I wish to cast my eyes over the stalls here and see if I can see what kinds of things are being sold in this fancy elite market. I got a 2, so it's technically a pass.
What stalls?
No stalls.
These merchants are standing freeform
Oh.
and discussing things. They don't need garish objects and on little stalls. It's not this. That's not this kind of merchanting. You approach a large spider.
Statue?
Yeah. And you pass right under it, like the big braves that you are.
Yeah.
I touched a leg on the way past.
Saphiro briefly hitches up, waiting for Sulin to say, "No, let's not go right under that. Are you crazy? Let's go around. In fact, why not go back to the inn and talk for an hour and a half?"
No.
But he doesn't.
Nope. I'm just straight under that spider like it's no thing.
Okay.
Does it feel like stone, touching the leg?
Hurry up!
I hurry up. And then as I catch up to him, I'll go, "That's not made of stone."
You caught up awful quick. If I was walking behind me, I'd be stopping all the time.
Mainly because they're holding this belt pouch and all my money's drained away.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Do you need a new belt pouch?
Yes, actually, she does because last week I rolled after we finished. I rolled a bunch of pickpocketing checks.
I will surrender a belt pouch. I think I have an empty one. I think it's just a medium.
I pay you back.
No worry. Just pouch.
Not just pouch. This is capacity.
Oh, big word.
It means the limit of things you can hold in a city.
Okay.
And that's true.
Because not Kappa Village.
That's what the smaller ones are for.
Maybe I should have sent you with Solo. No, it's fine.
You not even know I found you when she went away.
Well, why?
And there is House Bull. It's a larger, older design, and it seems that ever so slightly less well maintained.
I was actually thinking it does look like a little
Rundown.
yeah. Even just the icon.
Moss and ivy climb some of its walls, and there are no guards outside.
Oh.
I will knock on the door.
I'll pick up a piece of moss off the wall and play with it as I wonder about the state of the house.
So it's a double door, and each of the doors has a door knocker on it in the shape of a face. One of them is a broad, like goblin-like smiling face with a knocker in its mouth, and the other one is a frowning, sort of gargoyle-ish face with a longer snout, with the knocker hanging from its ears and going under it, and each one has a plate underneath where the knocker would wrap against.
Kim looks concerned. Why?
This is the first time we've come across them.
I think this was one of the very, very first things I did to them in Season 1. This exact thing.
I will... let's see. I'll just... This is usually the free hand, so I will wrap on the one on the right-hand side. Because I'm not a leftist.
The knock sounds loudly and resoundingly. Nothing happens immediately.
Well, I wouldn't expect it. I'll give
It's
it
still a
like
big
30
house.
seconds, because, it could take a while for somebody to get there.
Big house.
Is that your professional opinion?
Yes.
Him not know. Him not house here.
Have you ever lived in a house at
Means
all?
one who sees houses.
Orcs don't tend to have houses, do they? They tend to have
They
huts and...
can build things like... Maybe not like this, but...
Some of the tribal chiefs and Sarkarths get pretty big, but not this big.
And unless you are outrated, not in stone. At least not in Auckland.
The door opens.
Oui.
Says a woman in a tiny black dress with like white frill around it. And she has a little lace cap on top of her head.
It's a sexy 12-French maid. Hello, my pretty.
I beg your pardon?
Not yours yet.
That is not what I meant. I meant no offense. Merely a compliment. Where are my manners? Saphiro, cleric of Tor. At your service.
You are here. Come this way.
Of course.
She steps aside and allows you in.
Following behind.
Enter. The door.
You notice that between the doors is a big wall, and you cannot see what the other door leads to. This wall bisects the house.
Interesting. I just say as I look towards the left side of the wall there. Like, just because it's like not expecting it to
be two.
to do that.
Yeah.
To actually be two separate doors.
Welcome to our school. Why is more?
Thank you.
She will lead you up half of a wing stairs, the other half obscured by a wall, of course.
Still is there.
Nice. It's almost like this was one complete house at one point. They literally divided it.
Someone got divorced.
There is no such thing in Drow culture. Well, there is, but not with both parties remaining alive and in possession of things.
What's it like? And is it comparatively ill-maintained inside? Is that?
It's cleaner. But everything is still very old. Like, visibly old. Like, very much older style. You're led along the top of the stairs, sweep out onto a mezzanine, which leads around, and you're taken off into one side leading out into the wing, so off into this direction. Doors pass on either side. Suits of armour are intermittently spaced with like little neat plaques in Drow, so you can't read them. Each set of armour has a shield set onto the wall behind it, and is positioned so, like on its maquette, so that the hands are on the pommel of a sword or mace or morning star, some form of a weapon. Where the weapon is too large, it is being propped cross-body with one arm at the side and the other, sort of like trapping it against the shoulder so it doesn't just roll off and fall down.
Are all the armour identical?
No.
Like the suits themselves?
No. There is, in fact, a clear progression of style leading from the... well, you don't have any of that knowledge, so I won't describe it.
But from one end to the other.
From sort of like one... From like near the stairs and moving on, they seem to be getting older. So you've got like... This suits near the front here would be reasonably contemporary with what you see soldiers wearing today. As you get down... And then towards the big pair of opulent doors, you will see the more Roman-style, ancient Imperium-style armour that if you watched regular Game Night Wrestle Boys, you'll be more familiar with the Drow wearing.
Are they male, female, or kind of like is there a mix
There's
of
a
them?
mixture of both.
Okay.
More male than female.
Interesting.
The maid knocks on the door like this. And then opens them.
Monsieur, veuillez partir plus rapidement en arrière. To entertain your offer of employment.
She'll step aside to allow you in.
I'll give her like a little nod and then approach who's ever inside.
We'll do the same.
Inside is a big table with an exquisitely sculpted map of the city on it.
Oh.
It looks like this.
There. And it's
All
3D.
made out of like clay or something, detailed painted. It's a huge map of the city and some regions surrounding it. And there's a sort of an older drow, you can tell because of the length of hair and the height of the widow's peak. Drow do show age more than elves, but it is still difficult to tell if you're not familiar with them. And he is in the middle of just adding in some broken and burnt trees on the shoreline of a beach.
So just further along where he's doing that, we would find the Dragon Skull cave.
It is in fact at the very edge. And he looks at
Sphero, Cleric of Tor, at your service.
I have no time for that. Come here, boy.
They will approach. Careful not to, get too close to that model.
Don't want to damage the terrain.
Well, what do you think?
It's a very impressive model, sir.
Those trees damaged not long ago.
Important to update the map. You know why you're here?
I don't know all the specifics, but we were requested to attend in regards to a burglary or break-in at one of your armories. If the information is correct. Last evening, I believe.
Yes. Do you know what was taken?
We do not. I don't think it was a name.
I believe it was arms and armor, kind.
Oh yeah, I mean specifics is yeah.
Well, the job is simple. I would like you to investigate and find them and return our equipment.
Very well. Is there any information you can share about the incident that was not in the what do they call it again? The crier
VTM.
crier notes, or would it be best to speak with the merchant who runs the place?
Merchant! There's an armory.
My apologies. Armor mistress, is that the correct term?
You were speaking with him.
Oh.
The armory was broken into. We have no evidence of this. Only a large supply of equipment, arms and armor was taken.
How large?
12 sets of adamantite armor, 12 short swords, and 12 shields. Interesting.
Very specific amounts. I imagine there was more there to take, but they did not.
Lots more. And they knew what to take too. These were new.
Then they did not take to sell, but to use.
I don't know if you know anything about the armor crafting and weapons smithing process, but every now and then you mutate or evolve your design. Alter it to try and improve it. And when you do this, it must be tested so you manufacture, craft, or create the necessary equipment. That is what these were.
Prototype? Well, will we know that term?
That's why I was dodging around it.
Yeah. I wouldn't use that term.
They are not yet approved, but might be better than average.
How public was the knowledge of these?
It was not.
Suggests an inside job, or at least somebody inside helped
You
out.
would accuse a member of House Mo from stealing from House Mo.
Yes. Or at least collaborating too.
Good.
If we find armor, how will we tell if it is them? What is different? Something we could look for.
Because was not intended for sale or use, it will have no engraving, marking, or embossing. It will be naked.
And you said it was a new experimental design. Do you have an example of the one that they did not take? For you said they did not take all of them.
They did not take everything that was there. They did take all of them.
So there were 12 made?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Do you mind if I ask if these 12 were made for a specific purpose? Was there 12?
They were made for 6-a-side testing. 2 sets of 6 versus 2 sets of men equipped in normal equipment.
And the swords and shields were normal?
No. The swords and shields were also new.
Companion pieces.
Designed to work as a set.
Would it be impertinent for me to ask what the major...
I have no choice but to disclose it to you, but first I would have a sacred oath that you will not reveal these secrets to anyone who is not present in this room.
This includes any of your own...
Of course it does.
I look around to see if there's anyone else in the room. Quick
The
perception.
maid might still be there for one, but...
I think that's a 9. No, 15 is dead on.
Now, there's a naked woman standing in the corner. The only thing she's wearing is a little harness that holds the swords on her back. And she has like a little thin veil across her nose and mouth.
I give her a confused look as I see her.
I think this is something Spiro would just notice.
She's way in the corner of the room?
She's in the back half of the room. You'll just hear her.
You have my word.
Swear it.
I swear on Tor.
It'll do. And since you are in charge of them, if they say anything, you will be held responsible. He agrees to that.
Then I will punish them.
I got all kinds of power now.
That goes for you too, Silverhand, I say.
Not saying that.
Yeah, was there a major breakthrough specifically intended with this design?
The armor's design is, we believe, will deflect more blows than a regular design thanks to its shaping. And, because of wards set onto it, should prove immune to some kinds of spell damage. The armor is adamantite scale, with plate inserts over top, across the chest, and of course over the genital region. Atop leather, which can be worn as a separate piece.
Intended for males?
All of it was, yes. Female armor is more difficult to design. There's less of it.
Of course.
I've noticed we believe that the resistance level should work out to be higher than current armors for magic, and the increased deflection capability would last longer because of the new enamels we are using.
I know you may be hesitant to answer this one even despite my oath, but are there any known weaknesses, perhaps ones you were planning to...
That's what testing is supposed to tell us.
Oh.
The shield, when used, is no different and in fact might be a bit more cumbersome than a regular shield. But we believe the enchantment on it to be singularly unique in that it will completely negate All ranged missiles.
Do you have any, you wouldn't use the term blueprints, that's too modern, design documents that an artist did of the pieces?
We do not. Documents can be stolen and looked upon.
Who developed these pieces specifically?
The Founders School recently graduated a class. Some of the students took up positions at Vol. They were part of the design team, and that design team is the one that came up with these enhancements.
How many students?
3. He says that like it's significantly good.
Were these, I assumed that these students were under some kind of similar oath to not divulge internal...
All members of House Vol's development team, crafts team, and supervisors take a blood oath to the family. They become part of the family. It would be unconscionable for one of them to betray us. They know what it would mean.